Joining me is ex-MHK, I've got that right, for Douglas East, Chris Robertshaw, now retired. I think we'll put that under your name. But a very serious matter, because you see what's going on with Ramsey and the North Yard with the flood defence system that's been mooted now by DOI. I mean, it's gathering momentum, this thing. It seems to have been dropped quietly onto the website a few days ago. No interaction with the ex-MHKs, no interaction with Ramsey town commissioners. That's the start to the ball rolling. And you've had a look at these, because you understand the plans. I mean, I must say, they're quite detailed, aren't they? But
JBA consultants,
do you want to give us your views about what's going on here?
Well, let's start at the beginning.
Yeah.
I mean, I have, as an ex-politician, shown an interest in this election, as you would expect. And I listened to the interviews that the candidates for Ramsey have been engaged in with specific reference to the proposed marina. And it seemed to me that the issue revolved around those who wanted the marina to go ahead and those who didn't, because they wanted to keep the beach in that area of Ramsey. But then, quite shockingly, if you look at the JBA consultancy report on flood protection for Ramsey, you see actually that a significant proportion of the beach just disappears because there's a huge revetment that would have to come out. I think it's about 18 to 20 metres out. And also, if you read the report, you'll also note that there's some question marks about how tidal flows thereafter will impact on the remainder of that beach. So effectively, there's a really good chance, I would argue, at this stage and at this level of understanding, that you could lose the beach in that area anyway. So the point is, why on earth did DOI produce this report now, to, as it were, coincide with days before an election, while allowing all the candidates to indulge in a completely useless debate about whether the marina should be put there or not, depending on whether you wanted the beach or not, because the beach is going to disappear.
You can't have both then. Is that how you read it? That you couldn't have a marina doing what they want to do anyway, and have this.
If you had the marina, the argument is you lose a piece of the beach. But the JBA report says that if you put the protection in for Ramsey, which is needed, then you lose the beach anyway. So I think what's happened is that DOI have realised very, very late in the day that they're holding the whole election process in Ramsey in complete and utter contempt. What I don't understand is, as the report came out in June of last year, why the then Minister Ray Harmer didn't know, and why he didn't inform the rest of the Council of Ministers. Well, what the hell is going on here?
Because it's 2020 dated.
Yes, it's June 2020. It's been around for a long time.
So the Minister would have known about it?
The previous Minister and the current Minister would have known, and therefore all the members of the Council of Ministers should have known as well. Surely to goodness.
What is going on? I mean, is DOI going rogue on this, or someone somewhere has said, put it up?
At all sorts of levels, there's issues that need answering. One is that DOI, government, the executive, is holding the electoral process, and therefore the electors of Ramsey in complete and utter contempt, because they should have at least informed people so they didn't waste their time arguing about a completely useless issue. I mean, the flood defence programme for Ramsey, which is important because the topography, the estuarine topography of Ramsey is such that you could, in the future, get serious flooding with a combination of the sea high tide and a heavy river flow, and it could cause mayhem. An awful lot of people in Ramsey would have their properties exposed, insurance non-payable, and so it's a matter of huge importance.
But we've been hearing about glass walls and all sorts of things anyway going on just
There's
around
no glass
the town.
walls. There's no glass walls in this programme.
This is different again.
This is different. I mean, it runs from the proposal, which is, I understand, will be in the region of £30 million, would run from the old pier right the way through up, way past Murg Park and onwards to protect the coastline there. And it's been just sort of quietly sneaked in into the public arena at an extraordinary time. I would ask you, Paul, if you wouldn't mind, to publish the website, if you wouldn't mind, which shows what's proposed, and then people for themselves in Ramsey can look at this and realise how they've been treated with such contempt.
Okay, so that's deal with that's MHKs and council ministers, but Ramsey commissioners, who obviously must be a very large part of consultation, or should be, also with that statement coming from the Ramsey Town Commissioners chairman. I mean, he was disappointed, and I think that was the least way you could put it, that they haven't been. In fact, well, obviously, no one has been consulted. It's been kept secret, really, in all.
Exactly. Well, that's
what on earth. I mean, everyone's asked this question: how on earth does an Isle of Man government department do this way, and nobody has put a checks and balances on it?
Well, it really takes. This discussion takes you to the very core of what I've argued about for a long time, which is the politicians, the elected representatives, must have a much firmer grip of big policy issues than they currently have. And DOI, yet again, I mean, goodness me, how many times have you and I discussed DOI and its projects in the last 5 years and more?
I said, are they rogue? I mean, is that the right sort of terminology where they just seem to...
No, they're not rogue. They're just holding the election, the politicians in complete contempt. And politicians have got to get a grip of the government that supposedly looks after the people of the Isle of Man. Because it doesn't. How many times have you heard me say the government is more interested in itself than the people it represents?
So should Mr Black or whatever be coming to talk to the media, to everyone, explaining the actions of DOI, doing this, publishing it onto a website without any press release? I haven't seen the press release. No one seems to have heard anything about it.
Well, I mean, this should have appeared at the very latest when DOI appreciated that emotions were running higher in Ramsey about the possibility of a marina on the south area of the beach. They straight away should have said, no, we've got to put into play the importance of protecting Ramsey from future flooding, because effectively, if you're going to lose the south beach anyway, the one that goes down to as far as just slightly beyond the old pier, then there's an opportunity to combine the two and perhaps have it something completely different to the proposal on the part of the marina people and the proposal on the part of government, because you could combine the two and save money.
Because this is a proposal, isn't it? Let's get this right. This isn't saying this is going to happen, because they've got to fund it first of all, haven't they? This is a proposal which at some point needs to go out to public consultation.
Yeah, well, hang on a second. I think you need to sort of consider the JBA report in the light of the very, very significant flood risk which Ramsey is subject to. Its estuarine profile, its topography is different, and if we get a significant flooding event in the future in Ramsey, it could be extremely serious. So
this might be a good idea, right? So this might be a great proposal.
The baseline is that there has to be a very significant investment to protect Ramsey. It has to happen.
So this might be a great proposal, and this might be a great delivery, but it's just the way it's been handled out.
Absolutely disgraceful, utter contempt. I mean, it makes all the candidates in Ramsey look utterly ridiculous, and I just don't understand how it could have been kept under wraps for so long without members becoming aware of it.